Hey guys, welcome back to Old Reader, New Reader. Uh, the wonderful Phil AKA Shazamdajam is back with, of
And
course, an appropriate T-shirt.
the one I forgot I owned until an hour before the show. I literally saw the
Yeah,
cover in the book and I was like, don't I have that on a shirt? And I was like, I do.
I knew it. I was like, "There's no way Phil doesn't have a Zatanna shirt. He's got to." And this is all from your recommendation. Thank you for recommending. Should I say Zatanna, not Zatanna? Am I saying it like I'm a Southern person? Zatanna,
I
Zatanna.
I would have honestly not noticed until you said that. And now I just hear like instead of Wonder Maddie, the Southern Maddie.
I can't let it
That
out.
there is a Tana with her
That there's
magic.
Zatanna. She says that those words all backwards like and then makes magic happen.
Oh my god.
I can't let that out. There's no way.
Have you
I
ever
lost
watched
most of my southern accent, luckily.
have you ever watched Young Justice with subtitles?
No.
Each time Zatanna comes on, it kind of hurts my brain a bit.
Oh, yeah, I
'Cause-
bet.
yeah, because it literally says it backwards in the
Oh, my
subtitles.
God.
I'm just like, oh,
No way. Yeah, so we're talking about Zatanna by Paul Dini. This is my first time reading it. This is suggested by Phil. Thank you. So you're the old reader, I'm the new reader. We actually did it correctly this time instead of like me suggesting to people like, let's both read this thing I haven't read before. Uh,
sometimes it's like old reader, new reader, asterisk, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah, it's fine. But yeah, it's my first time reading it. I really liked it, and immediately I was like, why aren't there more Zatanna runs? Feels
really,
very
like,
silly.
well, you know, DC stays sleeping on characters.
I
Like
know.
either that or they put them in a tournament, Hunger Games style, and only one book survives.
Yeah, I'm sick of that every year because as if they don't know who's gonna win. Do you want this or Robbins? I wonder who's gonna win this. Actually,
Oh yeah,
who could
like
guess?
Captain Carrot is gonna destroy Dick Grayson. Like no Dick who, you know.
Drives me crazy. But yeah, this was really cool. Luckily, this is super new reader friendly. You don't have to know anything else happening to enjoy it. And if you do, you probably will enjoy it more because you get like the little cameos, understand them, like Detective Chimp, who's the best, who has an alcohol problem, I guess.
Oh, of course. Being a detective is either alcohol or coffee.
Yeah, and you're a chimp, so.
You have no bills. You're living the best life. I don't want bills.
So for people at home, I can't really give like a play-by-play of this. That does not mean I didn't like it; it just means that my memory is bad. But what I will say is that this focuses on just some various adventures Zatanna goes through. Like I said, it's very new reader friendly. There is an overarching villain who's discussed, whose name I already forgot, but the name Knight is in there.
Brother Knight.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Um, and different beings and demons that work for him. And then throughout there's little things and little, kind of one offs. It feels very much like Phil and I were talking before the show. Uh, Reading Zatanna feels like watching something like Buffy or Angel for me a little bit, just due to the nature of like the shenanigans she gets into. So I really like it.
Yeah, like I really like because like you said, it was like very just new reader friendly, and it's just one of those things where the strength of the writing is just letting you discover who Zatanna is by just watching her life.
Hmm.
So it's like a little bit of slice of life. You get a little bit of your like she's a superhero, but she's not a superhero.
Yeah.
So it's just if she sees like a crime going down, she'll intervene because she has the ability to do it. But she's a magician and a performer, and you're following like her zany adventures, like whether she willingly or unwillingly wants to participate in them, and just the wild uncertainty of her life. And that's one of the things I really like about the book. Is just it doesn't shove a bunch of character lore or um you know like tie into any events. If you, like you said, if you know her history, certain nods might like go like, oh, okay, okay. But it's just kind of like just a feel good comic, I would guess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I had so much fun with this because, like, as you said, she goes from like her stage life to saving somebody trying to go to bed. It gets messed up by some other supernatural thing happen. She has to take care of it, and kind of repeat and refresh. So there's
Yeah.
constant changing of clothes throughout, which I also really like. I appreciate that they take the time to let us know that all of this is just messing up what she's trying to do, and a lot of that's just trying to go to bed.
Yeah, like
um,
I love when like each time like something does happens and say she was just like trying to just relax or something, you just see her say backwards work clothes because it's
yeah.
just like, ah, great, something's happening.
And I think, I guess we can talk about just her as a character in this first and then kind of go into the different adventures and like beings she runs into and characters that we meet. But she's so fun. I know I mentioned Buffy already, but I do feel like that with her. I feel like she's very sassy, but not a joke, you know? And she's sexy, but they don't ever take advantage of that like they would with some other female characters in DC.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
she
Starfire.
yeah, she's still like she's such a fighter, and I love that they take the time to like show all of her aspects of her like her powers and like her personal abilities, and explain like the reasoning why. Because yeah, she does magic through saying words backwards, but she's also been trained by her father to be able to do things without magic too. So that's why she's able to kind of withstand different scenarios where she's not able to like use her voice, or maybe she uses like a tool like a little like word pad that'll say the words out loud,
Oh,
or
I
she'll
love
write
that
it
part
down.
of the book.
Oh my god, we've got to talk about the braces part. It's so good. You learn a little bit about her family because she does talk about like there's an instance later that we'll talk about that she's in the big library, and she talks a teensy bit about her like what she comes from. And someone asked her, like, why don't you have so much magic? Why don't you just do all this stuff? She's like, no, we're here to help. I don't want to run the world, and I don't want the responsibility to run the world. And also, magic corrupts. This is the amount that I should be doing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like I like that, you know, like because you mentioned like she's sassy, but like she's confident, but not
Mhm.
overconfident.
Yeah.
She knows that like she could be beat in any situation. All it takes is just a little bit of like luck or just an advantage like that the enemy has. Like I just love like she's humble, she's confident, and she's just she's just there to do things like she does what's right cuz it's right. She doesn't need
Hmm.
motivation to like have a Uncle Ben moment or something. Like it's
Yeah,
just
that's true.
she she knows what she's capable of, and she knows that if something's going down, she can lend a hand. And it's just nice to see characters like that because there's people like that, and you don't see a lot of people like that because they don't brag about what they do. They just do their good deeds and they go about their day, and that's basically Zatanna.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely fell in love with her in this. Now I'll be upset with the lack of focused Zatanna content. But at least I'll get to read about her in other books. Um, so I guess we can talk about some of her adventures that she gets into.
Her zany
Um,
adventures.
Zany Adventures of Zatanna. You should call it that. No, what people would not read it because of that, but I would. I'd be like, yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you.
It needs like one old school cover with just zany on it, like in those big bold superhero
Yeah,
letters.
I would love that
I love
personally.
throwback nods.
Yeah. Um, I there's a few stories I really liked. And I guess one of them I loved the dream sequence with little dream demon. He was a real throwaway one at first. I was like, okay, this guy's just a creep that Brother Knight's sending over. And like there's not much to him. But I kind of like this weird relationship the two of them have as the book continues on, which is why I say a Buffy thing, 'cause it's a very Buffy thing, where she fights him off, she catches him. He's not that strong. And she kind of ends up getting power over him. It ends up sort of this like beneficial relationship between the two of them. She's like, hey, you can still live, just don't mess with me. If you want to give nightmares to people, that's fine. Just don't come into mine. But also later on, I'm going to need you to kind of help me go through some memories of mine. So can you help me? And he's like, yeah, okay. Or he's like, this thing, let me do this thing for you. Of course. Like, I love that switch.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like you're back in the hat. You're back trapped in the hat. Like, and like I just love that little like just how casual she is about it. Because you know, as long as it's a spell and she can say it, like of course if it's like more ridiculous of a demand, it's gonna take some toll on her. But it's just how witty she is on her feet because she has to say it and she has to know what she's saying backwards. And so many characters just get thrown off like, oh no, wait, hold on. It's like too late. She already said it. You're stuck in the hat. You owe me a favor now.
And it's cool. She does talk about that too, right? Or like she's talking with her like assistant, Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey.
That I love her. And she's like, some of these can be too complicated, but I can't ask them to like slow down their like attacking me for me to think up something witty to say backwards to make it work. I have to like make flashcards and like practice these things and make sure I do know how to say them backwards. I was like, that's really impressive because I know for me, it's very difficult to read what she says backwards. That was a learning curve that I thought would improve as I went. It did not. It was hard every time.
It's easier when she's in team books because like everyone's participating, but when it just focuses on her and you have so much backwards dialogue, it it kind of like words are hard by themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not embarrassed to say that words are hard. So,
That's really brave of you.
but like 16 issues of her just casually just saying her stuff backwards. Sometimes it makes your eyes go a little like multiple directions because you're like, huh?
Do you think writers that have to write her and Etrigan the same story go a little crazy?
I hope so. I haven't read all of Justice League Dark, but now that's what I'm expecting.
Well, now I want to go back and read because I have a few of the volumes, but I didn't go in depth in reading it. But because of this, I want to go back and read more of that, and also because of Detective Chimp, of course.
Yeah,
Huge.
I mean,
Detective
and plus
Chimp.
you got to read all the content of her you can because she's shelved right now because of that Dark Crisis event. So
I'd love to read a good Zatanna story. Just keep Tom King off the book. I think Zatanna is 5 times a better character than Harley Quinn. Zatanna should be as big as Scarlet Witch or Doctor Strange. I don't disagree. It seems like with her abilities and the way that she is, her personality, I'm surprised that she's not a bigger character in a lot of stories.
I feel like she's probably just a difficult character to write because you got to be a kind of writer that really gives her a challenge because
That's
she could
true.
literally talk her way out of a lot of things. Like one night in Gotham, and Batman would be able to get plenty of sleep, like
Oh
alone,
yeah,
just
that's
by
true.
she could just go around in a car in a megaphone and just like put everyone in Arkham and then make Arkham like unescapable. But of course,
Oh
that wouldn't be
man.
good storytelling.
That's true. I think that's a good point. I could see where having Zatanna in like a regular superhero group can kind of defeat the purpose, depending on what all is going on. If you can just speak the words and fix the situation, that can be a little bit difficult. Jessie! Hello. I adore Zatanna, but she's very OP. I like how she's used in the recent season of Young Justice. Yeah.
I am
I
loving
think
Young Justice.
cartoons do her well. And Young Justice does her well.
Yeah, I
Also, she's great
remember.
in DC Superhero Girls. I know nobody else watches that but me. But she's pretty great at it.
I haven't seen that one.
Should.
I don't have cable, so I haven't seen that one. I remember when like my first introduction to the character was like probably like a lot of people like growing up in the '90s was that one episode she guest starred in Batman the animated series,
Mm-hmm.
and like she didn't have her magical abilities, like she wasn't doing that, but like Paul Dini's literally the writer of that episode. Like he loves the character, and I just remember like seeing that episode, and I was just like, she's from the comics, isn't she? Like, and she was just her energy was just so like infectious, like, and I've just been a fan of the character ever since.
Oh, she opened up little Phil's heart. He's like, I'll find her.
She
I'll
opened
read
up
her
my little
books.
heart.
Okay. So other things I want to talk about. I'm jumping around a little bit, so stop me or jump in
No, it's ping
anytime.
pong
But
all over this book.
all right, good. I like it. The the braces episode we have to, or not braces episode. It's not an episode. It's like it's issues. Um, they talk about like Zatanna growing up and then what that was like for her. They put a little story in there about when she has braces and she can't say the words she needs to say.
You can't say anything.
And she's very upset about it. She's pissed because it's going to take years off of her training magic. I want to be like, Zatanna, give it a second. You'll be able to speak soon. You get used to it. But she is not ready for that. And so, and she's got to fight off some people at the mall. And so she finds some device that'll say the words out loud. So she can say braces like cage that guy or something. And her braces like extend to trap this guy until the police come. And it was so cute. And her dad's like, okay, yes, I'm proud of you, but no, this isn't what you should have done. And also, you're keeping the braces. It was just very cute. It was such a good moment.
It was
I
so
love
cute
it.
because he was just like, "This is gonna cost me a fortune if you keep this up."
Yeah.
Like, and I love in that issue because, like, as a person who had braces, the first day you have braces, you'll never forget. It sucks. You I just remember first time I got braces, and I tried to eat a French fry, and it was the most morally defeating experience ever. The pain made no sense. It was just one soft fry, and seeing her struggle to eat a taco brought back that like crime alley moment for me. And like she's trying to like talk to people, and she is spitting so much, like the art just goes to 11 as far as how much she's spitting to an unrealistic like portrayal of it, but it's just so cute because
So
just
cute.
how normal her world is to just like do magic and to have like a normal experience that you can relate to with this character. And it's just one of those like simple stories, and this book is full of them
Oh,
that
yeah.
just makes you relate to the character so much.
Absolutely agree. Okay. I do want to talk about Zachary, but I also want to talk about the puppet before I forget about the puppet because I really liked all of that sequence. And not to keep mentioning or relating it to Buffy and Angel, but Angel also has a puppet episode. So again, I kept thinking about it. Or like an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode also is kind of what it felt
Yeah, it
like.
has like a
Or like
Goosebumps feel
Goosebumps.
to it.
Yeah. Because he's such a creepy redheaded like puppet slash like he looks kind of like a ventriloquist dummy, but he's more of a puppet, I guess. A marionette, if you will. But that story was super interesting. I love this whole like I love that she had this fear of him, like fear of puppets you couldn't explain. Like she's, oh no, any other dolls are fine, no problem. These other beings, that's fine, but puppets. I was like, okay, good. I like where this is going. And of course, zany magic happens when she gets turned into a puppet while fighting this puppet who her dad had, or was a human. Their dad turned into a puppet for killing a dude. I know it's a lot, but
He had it coming.
Oh yeah, puppet Zatanna is very cute though. I was like, this is really cute though. I'm not upset that you're a puppet. I kind of
DC
I know
Direct slept
situations
on
can be
like
cute.
making that merch.
Oh my
Honestly,
gosh, she was so cute. I would have bought it like immediately. Loved it.
my
And again, it's
my
so creative.
my favorite thing about I told you about it before we started, but my favorite thing about the puppet one, like she's talking to her therapist about her fear of puppets, and she was like, as an adult, she got invited to what's equivalent of DC Sesame Street,
Oh yeah.
and she thought she was gonna be okay. And the moment she talked to like the unnamed Oscar the Grouch, she threw up in the trash can, and you just see this image of this horrified kid that is probably scarred for life. I love it so much.
I also love this therapist. I love therapy in any comic book. I just think it's really interesting. Just give therapy to everyone, but don't make it in a way where, Wally West kills everybody.
I
Just
was
like
waiting for it
regular
to come back
therapy.
to
It will never go away.
that.
I'll never forget. Man, somebody asked me recently, like, how'd you feel about the cat bat wedding? And I was like, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
It's like that
Oh,
that Grand
time.
Theft Auto meme, like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, exactly. You summoned me. Uh, but I love the whole therapy thing. And I like that weird magic therapist, for some reason, changes the way they look,
Based
depending on
on
who they're
her
talked
client.
to.
Yeah.
That was so cool. It's such a little thing. It's not important in the long scheme of anything. I just think a magical therapist is very interesting.
And it's something that like if magic was as wild as it was here, you would literally need magical therapy because magic just breaks logic so much that like yeah, you normalize it, but I'm sure there's moments where you're like laying in bed and be like, that really happened tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and made a comment when I listed it twice. I don't think so because the only writing was a writer is Paul Dini, not to diminish the other work of others in this trade. I might be curious. I would love to see other people take a hand at it.
Yeah, and honestly, does DC magic users as a whole, like usually they're just kind of just lumped in Justice League Dark because Justice League branding, and like I get that from a financial point, like the name draws at least some
Oh
possible
yeah, it's
interest.
interesting.
But yeah, like DC always had this corner of magic where like they dabble in, like they had that Day of Vengeance and then Shadow Pact, but I mean just listing the characters, you got potential with Doctor Fate, who they dabble with, Zatanna, Detective Chimp, like Constantine,
Yeah, and
who
finally bring Wonder Woman into Justice League Dark too, since she's got
yeah,
magical things.
yeah. So there's a lot of potential in that corner of the universe, but I don't know what they need necessarily because it's one thing to say like give them a book, but I'm not sure what they need to kind of have staying power.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if it's like be involved in more of the DC universe as a whole, be involved in some events that make it so that you can't ignore them. Like I don't have the right answer for that, but it would be interesting to definitely see that corner of the DC universe just explored rather than dabbled in.
yeah. And I like seeing it in like this light, Evan mentions maybe a solo series courtesy of James Tinian. I mean, Tinian would do a great job with his Zatanna series. I would trust him. Um, I really enjoyed it because it was lighthearted. I know that Joe is wishing it was darker, and I do think the content is out there for like darker magic stuff in DC.
Oh yeah, Constantine alone.
Yeah, and I know we had Mystic U. I haven't read that one, so someone in the comments has and wants to tell me how how that is because Zatanna like teaches at Mystic U. I think it
I
was
forgot
DC's
that book.
response to Strange Academy, probably.
Yeah, I forgot
Um,
about that. I think I own the first issue.
so maybe that kind of like fills that need. But it was fun to see magic used in this fun way in DC. Not that it always has to be that way. Same with any other DC character. I think it's fun if they have a lighthearted thing. It's fun if they have a dark thing. I like a mix for every character.
Oh yeah.
You can see it sides. But I would like more.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Doctor, and hopefully when the Black Adam movie comes out, because I know visually alone, Doctor Fate looks amazing. Like not just movie wise, just in general. Like it just
Yeah.
has something about Doctor Fate just draws
So
you
cool.
to him. And then you realize most of the time the helmet is like kidnapping people, but that's
Yeah, it
cool,
is
I guess.
sad. That part's a bummer. But then I always feel like Zatanna's dad like does a good job of like making that sacrifice and like taking the role on, I guess.
Oh, I love that like in Young Justice, I love that like
Yes.
version of it because it makes Doctor Fate just really just seem creepier
Hmm.
than like amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad, but it's interesting that somebody has to like really sacrifice because like I have to be the one because who else are they going to use? And someone has to be wearing the helm of Doctor Fate. That's
Imagine like
cool.
someone being like a fan of Doctor Fate, be like, "Oh, Doctor Fate, I love your helmet," and he goes like, "You want to try it?" And just like hands it to the
Whoops.
kid.
Oh well. So let's talk about Zachary Zatara.
Oh boy.
I had never heard of this person until this book. I wasn't aware of her cousin. Yeah, her
He
cousin.
he appeared during 1 year later, that time gap, like the
Yeah,
new 50, or like not the new 52, the
yeah,
original 52, when like everyone, like literally everyone that was a teenager was like a teen titan within that year.
yeah, yeah,
So like he appeared during then, and I know besides this book he was in a Superman title for a while. I didn't read it though,
Weird.
so I can't tell you the context on that. But yeah, he's basically, we say all these great things about Zatanna, and now we just take the same abilities, though not as polished, and
Yeah.
put it on an irresponsible teenager.
Love it.
You just want to punch him in the face, but you love reading them.
Yeah, well, because he's he's a playboy and he misuses his abilities for fun. I love when she picks up that party at the house and just
Oh,
Zatanna does not give a shit. She's just like, I don't have time for this. Turn these girls into like cat or like chickens and birds and stuff. And then she throws them all in the pool and then fixes them. And he's like, you gotta teach me that trick. It'll make those like next mornings, like next Monday mornings or whatever, so much easier. And I was like, Zachary. But he's also doing the performing thing and actually like he's interesting because he's a goofball, he's irresponsible, but he cares about Zatanna a lot. He wants
and
her to be at his show.
he wants her approval.
Yeah,
And
I think that's really cute. And
and
when he came to save the day that one time, that was so nice too to save her from marrying
I love
essentially a guy who's
that
been alive
story.
forever.
Like I love it so much because you have Zachary who wants to like impress Zatanna so much, and she can't make it, and he thinks that like she bailed on him, and she's stuck in a spell about to marry someone and like give her soul up, and they're arguing during this whole fight, and I just love the banter between it because like the demon that's like trying to get her soul is like mentioning like she's paid millions for her shows, and
Hmm.
Zachary goes like, "You're paid? I had to pay to get like a slot on my show." And she's like, and like the whole time they're like trying to survive. He's like, "So how much money are you making?" And she's like, "This is not the time."
I've told you to polish your stuff. Come on. But it was cute. It was such a cute ending. It was typical because she's like, I have another show to see. He's like, what show? Like any other like cheesy episode ending.
Yeah,
And she goes to watch him. I think that's so cute. And I love that they perform together later and he's just messing shit up
yeah.
because he's hard headed. And I think that it's just a good relationship to see.
And I
Especially since like her father was very polished.
yeah, and she's very professional,
Yeah.
and Zachary's not. And I I remember when I read this, and I related so much because like Zatanna is like literally following Zachary and like scolding him and lecturing him, and she doesn't realize she followed him all the way to like a dance club, and she
Yeah, so
realizes it. And I just love when she went like, I hate oonts, 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 oonts music." And I was just like, "Oh my god, we're the same person." So like I too don't like being in a place where I can't hear myself talk.
another one of really great slice of life moments that are thrown in here. They don't affect anything. They're just fun. That was a cute little issue too. She had to save him from a succubus. What a dumbass. He's he flirts with some girl and then she's a succubus. I forgot what the kind is. It's a Japanese kind.
Yeah, I
Oh
forget like the
man.
official kind, but
Yeah, because I heard her say the name and I was like, oh no. Because it
sadly
kind of
when I
like the
hear
mouth
succubus,
opens
I
up.
just think of Morgan from Darkstalkers. But
Yeah. It's not that kind. Not the sexy kind. I mean, it's sexy, but also her mouth opens up and there's a huge like tentacle thing with
oh
teeth
yeah,
that
it's
comes
like
out.
terrifying.
Yeah. But I love that. And she's got to get away from these two guys so she can go over there and help.
Oh
She's
my
like, oh my
god.
God,
The guys
you
dancing and
idiot.
are just going like, "Get your number?"
She takes off their
Oh.
clothes and changes it to like short, like bikini briefs. Classic. So good. All these little moments, they're so fun.
Yes, it's like having your favorite drink and then they tell you there's free refills.
Yeah.
That's what this book is. Like
Absolutely.
there's so many like zany, like feel good moments and like just the little flashes of her life to just show that how much she cared about her father as well.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's kind of refreshing in a superhero book for her to like look back on her father and not kind of be like glum or like depressed about it or like this gave me purpose or vengeance.
Yeah.
Like she treasures all the time that she spent with her daughter or with her father, and any moment that she gets to relive that, like she's just so happy and thankful, and it it feels so good to read this book.
It really does. I think there's not enough of that. Like, I think it's important that these kind of books exist alongside all the heavier stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone's heard me say that kind of stuff a million times. But you'll continue to hear it. There's probably new people here. You need the lighthearted stuff for the big stuff to matter, and that's exactly what we got with this. It felt like reading, or felt like watching a Monster of the Week show, because there were so many just different fun story instances that were happening that would be wrapped up into each like issue, and that's really nice to read. It didn't overcomplicate itself, which it could have done for a 16 issue run. So many things that were coming out at the same time overcomplicated themselves, got caught up in events, and kind of lost where they were going. And this one felt so distinct and together the whole time. And what a treasure that is, because that does not happen often.
Yeah.
Even in our favorite books, I'm like, oh, I love this, but it kind of went a little off. I didn't feel that way at all through this.
Yeah, just it was like an arrow that was shot perfectly straight. Like
Yeah.
it didn't go too far to the left, too far to the right. Like it just stayed on course. Like Ollie would be proud.
Oh, I would be proud.
Roy would be
Uh,
proud.
real quick, they were asking about when does Paul Dini write a series? This is 2010. So I read this on DC Universe because I know that some of the trades are hard to get a hold of. So that's how I read it. Just so you know. I have not read Paul Dini's run on Batman, although I own it. So I need to do that.
Oh, I wish I still had mine when he was on Detective Comics. It was
Yeah.
such a good run.
Yeah. I don't know if this is my first Paul Dini or if I've read others. Like, it's hard for me to tell after I've been reading so long. I probably read stuff I didn't realize I've read.
And he navigates to Zatanna a lot. Of course, Batman, Harley Quinn. Like they seem like a very selective writer. They have a Zatanna Black Canary mini, which actually wasn't that bad.
I want to read that. I might have that too, actually. Anytime like the girls are together, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm a simple woman with
I
simple
know what I
tastes,
like.
and I like for the girls to hang out together. That's all I need.
One thing that kind of sucks about the run, not the run itself, but yeah, I felt like, revisiting it, it didn't get to wrap up all of its plots. And I mean, I know the reason why, the new 52 cut that book off. So
Yeah,
like the new 52 didn't allow a lot of books to get to their desired end goal as far as storytelling.
yeah,
And honestly, I'm not mad about it. I would just kind of like to revisit it one day. I know it's kind of well past the time to bring
yeah,
it up, but the book was so simple in a way where you could kind of just pick back up, and any important elements could just be referenced within a conversation.
yeah. I agree. But you're right. Like they didn't. There was obviously a plan, at least put out there, where she would be facing the final big bad, and that like he would be coming back because that was not done. And
Yeah.
he was still out and about. And unfortunately, we never got to have that closure with that. Luckily, I didn't. I felt like this was done well enough that I didn't feel too bad that it was gone because we got confirmation that he's back and doing stuff because he went to go see the therapist.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have more. But man, I'm surprised we got 16 issues. You couldn't write a series like that right now and have 16 issues. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah. You would have to
Like,
get on Twitter and just be like, please, please buy this book. Like, why isn't everyone reading this book? And then you would have to do this tweet every month.
oh yeah, yeah. At most, you get like 6, or it'd be like a web comic, and that's about it, which is sad. Like I reading this made me think of like Supergirl being super has the same energy for me, and that's another one I would have loved to continue forever that didn't.
I heard Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is really good.
I have to.
I'm
I'll be
scared to
reading.
read it, but I'm gonna do it.
Hey, Tom King can write well. He can also destroy my life, but hey, Jaden, we just Zatanna's good. That's what you missed. Zatanna's good. You should read
Magic.
it. Uh, I like that issue where she fights with the guy with the sword that turns time back. Yes, we should talk about that because that was cool.
That was cool, actually.
Thank you, Evan, for bringing it up. Because the villain wasn't that interesting. He was creepy, but him turning back time and her having to figure out how to deal with it. I love that throughout this, she ends up giving situations where she can't get out of it the way she thought she would. Either she can't speak or whatever else. But this one was so cool because she would say a thing, he'd reverse it, so it would undo it. So she had to figure out how to do like palindromes for everything, which was so good. And then she just got really into it, didn't want to stop. I thought that was so cute.
Oh yeah. That was a good one, and like that was like a done in one issue. You know, it was Monster of the Week bad guy,
Yeah.
but it just created like if I was buying this when it was like coming out and I bought this issue, I'd be like, that was an enjoyable read. Like
Yeah.
I got everything I wanted in one book.
Maybe she should have a cartoon show.
Little animated shorts or
Yeah.
something.
I think, if you took this style and the type of stories that are in this and you made it a cartoon, that would be really good. Now, I don't know if today's audience wants cartoons like that, but like I do. So can I have it? um, like I think I should be given that. Thank you.
I mean, I
Presentation.
want it too, so you
Because
know.
we were supposed to get a live action show with her. I guess it just dropped.
I mean, let's be real. Warner Brothers announced pretty much everyone in the DC universe was getting a movie
Yeah.
at one point.
Little did they know that they were gonna mess up a lot of that stuff.
they'll be like, "Yeah, the Snapper Car movie is greenlit." It'll be like, no one asked for this.
We didn't. No. Let's backtrack. Oh man. Oh, let's rate this so then we can talk about. There's things I want to talk about, like that Gotham show that we're getting or whatever.
Oh yeah, speaking of things that no one asked for.
So let's go ahead and rate this. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 10 out of 10. Or like, I'm really happy with it. I know that's a big jump, but it delivered. It delivered really well. I don't have any notes except for I could have used more of it. I really like it.
Oh yeah, it's an easy 10 out of 10 for me as well. Like the art is solid, and even though there's multiple artists, art across the board is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Um, the storytelling, the direction, the passion for the character can just be felt off the pages. And you know, I could be ultra critical on probably something if I tried hard enough, but I picked up this book. I enjoyed this book. I revisited this book. I enjoyed this book. It's a feel good book.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it on everyone's shelf.
There you go. There you have it, everybody. You should read it. James says that we will both love Supergirl One of Tomorrow. I think we will. I've heard nothing but good things. It is really good. If you like True Grit, I think you will like it. That's not the comparison I was expecting for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. But I do like True Grit, so
I've never seen True Grit, but I got all the issues. I'm gonna read them. Maybe we'll talk about it one day.
Let's do it. I'll wait till a trade is out or it's out on DC Universe, and then I'm ready to do a show about it.
But we'll dive in.
Because I gotta live cheaply. I know people think I'm made of money with these books, but listen, I've just been checking books out from the library a lot lately, and that's how I'm living. Okay, let's talk about new DC news and stuff. Because dude, I can talk about that. That Gotham show. What's that? Why do we have? Why are they giving us that? I only know the name of one person on that, and that's Harper Row or like Harper or whatever.
Yeah.
Why do we have other people? They don't matter. What is this?
I was talking about this with my girlfriend, and I was just like, they literally canceled Batwoman to do a similar show with less familiar or new names.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
you literally canceled a Bruce Wayne-less or Batman-less Gotham show, and you're seeing the next generation rise up. You cancel it to make a show of a Bruce Wayne-less, Batman-less Gotham with the the newer, as in like, I don't know you at all generation. What's the kid's name? Turner or Tucker or
I don't
something?
know any of those people.
Like,
Because I was like, okay. At first, I was like, I saw the pictures, like, okay, well, I'll have to look at who is who. And I was thinking it's like, our Robins or whatever. I was like, that's cool. And I look, I'm like, what? Like, they are so out of touch with everything.
and
Why do they think this will land?
imagine having not only one of the deepest like group of characters like with the Bat family. You have so many toys you can play with just from the people who walk in the Bat cave. And then you have Wayne Family Adventures who
Which is perfect. Who
show like, oh, this is what these interactions might look like outside of like the norm, and in an entertainment like kind of way. You have all these characters, and you make, I don't know, his name is Turner or Tucker. Like, I don't know, but this random new guy who is the adopted son of Bruce Wayne, and he gathers a bunch of Gotham's young nobodies, I guess. And I wish I had enough power to be able to make projects like this with someone else's money, and because evidently it's so easy to just say this will be a good show.
Yeah, I don't
And
know who's making this.
I would love to spend someone else's money and just make wild decisions like that. What a fantasy.
Right? Because then, I mean, I don't know how everything works, and I'm sure any one of us would say like, oh, if we were in charge, it'd be better. But I think in this case, it's true. Because they made like another Superman and Lois show, and like that did well. You brought another Superman in, that's fine. Why not have another Batman? Who cares if you're gonna do it? If you're gonna stay in Gotham, which stop it. I love Gotham too. It's overdone. You don't have to always stay in Gotham. There's other people in DC to do. You don't have to do this one. Go ahead and have just Wayne Family Adventures. Just do it. I guarantee it'll go well. I guarantee people will like it. You don't need to. They would rather us learn about these new people that mean nothing than have to explain existing DC characters.
Heck, just use Batman. Just
Just
at this
Batman.
point, just use Batman. Just use something familiar. Just because it's wild. Because like I'm not trying to like trash on Naomi. I didn't see the show, but like that was like a new character that did not have enough depth to carry multiple seasons. Like
Yeah.
she's still being developed as a character, and
Yeah, because we only had that one book, and I watched Naomi. I don't think I finished the season, but like, it was good. It's not Stargirl good.
well, Stargirl and Superman and Lois got the HBO Max money, so
Just what are they doing out there?
they're doing something.
Remember we were gonna get a Wayne Family Adventures with an Asian Dick Grayson. Now we're getting a video game adaptation with no characters from the game. You mean from Gotham Knights? Yeah, because the guy was casted Dick Grayson. I follow him on TikTok. He was like perfect for it, and he was so excited. And they were like, "No." I was like, "Oh no, so sad."
I was sad about that because the guy that was cast as Nightwing, he's actually a friend of a friend from back from like my
Oh
cosplay
yeah,
days. Um, because I did like a few Power Ranger costumes. I mean,
yeah,
literally that's how we met.
yeah,
And like that guy was like literally in the Power Ranger community and then became a Power Ranger.
yeah,
Like so like I met him when I was at Anime Expo.
yeah.
I was introduced to my friend because like everyone knew each other from that. And like it did suck when they brought that down because I know they were just really excited for that. Like just from
His
their
perfect casting
yeah.
because he's already like fit and acrobatic. Like he was perfect. DC. I just would talk to people like, listen, you think you know what the teens and the young people want, but you don't. Who's the old white dude making decisions?
Hello, youths. I have a pitch.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, this is really gonna work. I'm like, stop it. Because you guys always overcomplicate it too fast and you get away from the plot of the original story.
You know, since someone brought it up, instead of Gotham Knights, why not the Mystic U show?
Oh, that'd be
That's a
cool.
show that literally can invite new characters and it makes like sense.
And that would do really well. Because
Yeah.
people would love like a magic school they can support that's not Harry Potter. So they'd be all about it.
Oh
The
yeah.
market's there and they're hungry for the content. You could do it. And it could happen before eventually there's going to be some Doctor Strange thing or something. DC can get out ahead of this.
They can at least be able to compete at the same level. Like I know they're they're kind of reining all it in with that new merger. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see where it goes from there. But like, because I tell people, like right now everyone's like talking about Doctor Strange, and if people see me out, like I wear a lot of comic stuff, but my phone background is Miles Morales,
Yeah.
and they always go like, "Oh, you like Marvel?" And I just tell people, I'm like, "Yo, I like comics. Like, I don't have to like pick a side, like, because there's so many people who are like, you like Marvel, so you don't like DC, or you like DC, so you don't like Marvel." And I'm like, I'm not here for that. Like,
No.
I like comics, and I want comics to be good, and I want comics to thrive.
Yeah, collectively, if all comics could do well, that's great. Also, if all the people making media based on comics could give some more money to the people that came up with those stories and characters,
Yes.
that would also be really cool. Just at least something. Give him at least a little something. Like, you can do better than that.
Yeah, because the way some like, and I know how some people go like, well, they signed the contract and everything. I'm like, yes, I get it from a legal point of view, but just sometimes there's just a little compassion needed in these
Yeah.
statements.
Of course, I love Stargirl. You
I
practicing?
I still need to see season 2.
I really liked it. I'm still really enjoying it. And I don't know if it'll eventually hit the regular CW path where they overcomplicate it's not good anymore. But right now it's really good. As the most like the beginning of all these shows always do pretty well. I mean, like the first few seasons where things are still fresh. Ellie and I were
See,
just talking about the Flash. Now that got a lot harder because eventually they run out of things. Like, okay, any character development the main characters had, we're gonna need to go back on that.
I tried watching the Flash. I haven't seen the Flash since like season 3,
That's
and
fine.
I watched like that Armageddon event,
Hmm.
and I remember my girlfriend was just watching me like physically struggling to get through all, and she said at one point I was just like just sitting and I was just focused, and then she was like out of nowhere, you just go, "Who are these people? And why are they taking up so much time? I haven't seen the Flash run this whole episode."
Yeah, yeah. It's fun later when you get his daughter Nora because she's really cute. So that's a good season. But yeah, it's a inevitably those shows they run out of things and they just get rid of any character development that there's been just for
Yeah,
conflict. I'm like, just stop it.
and what's it on like season 8 right now? That's a long time too.
Yeah, I'm behind because the Mirror Master stuff was a lot.
I
Uh,
didn't even know Mirror Master was on there.
she was, and she was really weird. The CW canceled most of their lineup for a Supernatural prequel about the abusive dad, a cop show set in 1800s Texas, and Gotham Knights.
Oh, gold. I'd do it again. What else can we cut?
Maddie, I'm thinking of getting a refurbished PS4. What are some good JRPGs? Oh man, for PS4, there's a lot. And suddenly I've forgotten any JRPG that came out.
That's a
What are
hard
games?
question because your mind instantly gets flushed when they ask you.
Yeah, my brain's dead. Let me see if it comes back. Sometimes with my brain, it'll come back to me in a little bit. Because I play a lot of games on the PS4 that aren't on the PS4. You know what I mean? Like they're actually older games that have been like remade for the platform. And so I'm trying to think of what's out. I have to go look at my shelf, which I can't do in a live show. If you
Play
message me later, though.
play
Oh,
Yakuza like a dragon.
I do want to. Um. Oh yeah, Persona. Persona's a good one.
Yakuza like a dragon is like a love letter to RPGs.
Oh
And
really? I assumed it would be like the rest of the Yakuza games.
oh no, it's a legit like turn-based RPG.
What?
But like the main protagonist grew up. I'm not gonna like show spoilers because the story is
Yeah.
actually pretty amazing. But he grew up loving Dragon Quest, so he bases everything he does based on like being the hero that he saw in those Dragon Quest games.
All right. Well, I'll play it. I tried to play the other Yakuza. Like I was playing Yakuza 0 because I wanted to start like chronologically. I discovered that I'm bad at fighting. So I wanted to play more, but I need somebody to do the fighting bits while I do the fun bits like karaoke. Uh, so that's what I need.
You'll love Yakuza Like a Dragon, then, because
Okay.
it's RPG and like not. I don't want to give any story details, but like the visual stuff you see, because like there's role classes.
Yeah.
Like it's basically what the main protagonist is kind of seeing while he fights. So it's over exaggerated versus like the actual battle. So
I love
like
that.
he'll have like his classes, but like if you say like you're a dancer class, like you look like a b-boy dancer while fighting, or if you know you're
Ah.
someone like looks like a pop idol, they actually have like a pop idol, like the pop idol is
Ah,
like the healing class.
I
It's
love
just
that.
it's such a love letter to RPGs. It's great.
I love that. Maddie, have you played Ghost of Tsushima? Yes. Have you played it?
No, I don't have a PS4 anymore.
Oh. Man, I love Ghost of Tsushima so much. But I also love any Japanese history and setting. So for me, I was like, yes, I'm there. Oh, that game is beautiful. We bought it for PS5 also, so I could replay it. Hayden says at least they're ending Riverdale. I watched that first season.
I forgot Riverdale was still a thing when they announced it was canceled.
I don't think it should. I mean, I didn't put in the effort to say that, but from my point of view, what I've heard, I don't think it should have continued because Archie is really fun, and I feel like they were like, I don't know, just leave comments as how they are, not completely, but like have some restraint. Isn't Eiyuden Chronicle Rising coming to PS4 and 5? Yeah, it's already there. It's not really an RPG though. It's more like I guess like a Castlevania, like a Metroidvania type of game. I just beat it. I really liked it, but people were like, "This sucks." I was like, "It's a small game from a Kickstarter to like hold you over until the actual game comes out next year." But it's very pretty. When the actual game comes out, I will cry, and that's all I'll talk about. And I'll take a short hiatus from the channel just to play that game.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah. And then my name will be in the credits, and I'll be like, ah.
Oh, for backing it? That's cool.
Yeah. I cried about it because I didn't know how much money I wanted to spend. Because if I spent like $200 more, which is too much, I could have my name in the art book. And I was so like, because Suiko's my favorite, so I was so in my feels. I was like, I don't know. I was having like an issue about it. But I was like, Maddie, you don't need that. It can be in the game, and that's enough. What if the game's bad and you spent all this money?
That would be kind of like a good story at least. You bought a good story.
I did spend a lot of money still on it.
I backed Shenmue 3, so yeah.
We have that. We haven't played it.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is I backed it and got the digital version of PS4, and I
Yeah.
don't even have a PS4. So
Oh no.
like I got rid of the PS4, so if I ever want to actually like play it, I have to like buy it again.
Listen, that game's gonna go on sale for like so cheap.
Honestly, paying for that game again, no price is
Oh,
is
just
fair
what
enough.
name? Real name or fake name? I don't know. Actually, I don't remember. But I can never let any of you know the truth. It's a secret. You're not allowed to know me. There's nothing interesting to find out, though. It doesn't really matter. But Wonder Maddie is my real name. First name Wonder, last name Maddie.
Legally.
What if I did that?
P.O. boxes in Themyscira.
Oh, that'd be good. I did too and played it for like 5 minutes. It's been cheap for a while. Well, I guess we hit about time. Phil, thank you for suggesting this and for being here and for being wonderful as always.
Thank you for having me. I hope everyone enjoyed having me.
How could they not? Come on. It's like when you're on here, it's a treat. We have a good time. We get really in depth in the characters, even if we can't remember like the exact chronology of what happened in the book, which I love. And I love that there's no judgment. It's like, yeah, let's jump right, Chris. Yes.
Yeah, we flow together pretty well, but we always have,
Yeah.
We're just a regular Blue Beetle Booster Gold,
Stop. One of these days we can go to a con together again and cosplay together, and then it'll be perfect.
Yeah, like honestly, I've been getting the itch. I've been looking at some old school photos, like my Spider-Man cosplays, and I was like,
yeah,
I kind of miss this.
I miss it a lot, especially since people are starting to go back. I'm like, oh, I want to be at a con so bad. I want to be in a vendor's hall.
But I don't have money for that, right?
I mean, me either, but I still want it.
I want it, but yeah, I'm just surviving. I'm surviving through memories.
Well, maybe this time next year we'll be able to do stuff. Well, anyways, I'll go ahead and call it. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here. Phil, as always, thank you so much for just being here and being a person. and be on the show with me. I'll be taking off next week. I was gonna try to do it, but I'm gonna be at a conference, and I don't know what the Wi-Fi is gonna be like. So, just gonna not be here next week. But then I'll be back the first week of June, June 7th, reading Heathen, with one of my favorite people on TikTok who agreed to be on the show, Katie Asaurus, and I'm really excited about it. And I can't believe she agreed, and I'm not gonna cry about it. And so when she's on the show, don't act like I'm freaking out, everybody. You gotta be cool. You have to act like I'm super cool. So when so you can be like, Maddie's so cool. You're gonna love her, so she'll be my friend. Don't tell her I said this. All right, guys, I'm counting on you to be real cool on June 7th.
Everyone record that.
Send her clips. Katie, don't be on the show. Maddie's a weirdo. Everyone already knows I'm a weirdo. It's fine. Anyways, I'm talking to. Thank you all. Phil, anything you want to plug before we leave?
You know, I have 0 plugs. Just go out there, read some comics. Read some comics. Tell us what comics you're loving. Tell us what comics could be better. Read those comics.
That's good. I like it. All right. Good night, guys. I'll see you in a couple weeks.